Perfect time for it to come. The sun is here, is blazing, okay? Shine a new light onto the earth. Same month of Father's Day and same month as the beginning of summer is also Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, because for far too long, the mental health of men, it is gone unrecognized, okay? It is gone underspoken on, okay? And a lot of the mental health issues that men face is going unaddressed because of this, okay? Men face mental health issues on the same rate as everyone else, okay? I don't want people to think that men face more mental health issues, okay, that they going through more mental health adversities than other people. No, they just facing the same mental health adversities and issues as other people, okay? And the difference is that oftentimes men don't feel human. Oftentimes men don't feel like their emotions matter, or that they even have the freedom to express them around people, because for far too long we've accepted the indoctrination that men are not human, okay, that they are mechanical, okay, that they are just pluses, minus, quotas, okay, that they are just logic. How often has we have we heard people speak on the logic of a man versus the emotional body of a woman, forgetting that men are also emotional. We also have emotional body and the same emotional aptitude as women, as well as women have the ability to have the same logical, okay, mind, and have the same logical abilities as men. Okay, I think we need to stop accepting the indoctrination, okay, of gender wars, accepting the indoctrination that it separates us genders and forces us to look at each other as so different. The same things that hurt you hurt me. The same things that hurt you hurt me. Okay, and yes, so the mental health of men needs to be addressed. It needs to be spoken on. Okay, the suicide rate for men are much higher, and also the rebellion, the earlier rebellion in young men is much higher than the earlier rebellion in women. Okay, although women rebel, we see that when men rebel, lives are lost. Lives are lost. Okay, there's a different energy in a rebellious young man. There's a different energy in a rebellious young man. Lives are lost. Okay, yes, women rebel as well, but this conversation isn't about women at this moment. Women is going to get their due conversation. They're going to get their problems addressed. Okay? Why? Because we live in a world where there are indeed divine men that care about the feelings, emotions, logics of women. But right now, we need to understand that men's emotions, their feelings, okay, the things that they're going through, the secret conversations that they're having matters. What we first need to speak on is a lot of the secret conversations that happen in men been happening for a very long time. Okay, for a very long time, like the idea that they're not human. People have been showing them this, okay, since they started being men, or even before, okay, as they were babies. They wasn't allowed to support themselves. They didn't have the same emotional support, okay. Little boys that are being left with their mother, okay, because we're going to speak on that. Little boys that are left with their mother, they're coming up a different type of way, okay. They're coming up in a different type of way because a lot of mothers aren't trained, okay, don't have the emotional training to be able to cater to the emotions of men, especially when they are hyper consumed on their own emotions. A lot of men are bending to the will of women early in their lives. I'm going to say it again. Men are bending to the will of the emotions of women early in their lives. The abuse starts very early. I want us to understand this is abuse. This is abuse. This is why the rebellion of a young man is different from a young woman, because her rebellion begins at rebelling against her mother and this emotional abuse. For a man, it is different. He doesn't understand how to fight for himself. He doesn't know how to fight for himself without hurting anyone, because everyone around him will pretend as if they are more hurt than he is. He never get to experience his emotions, okay, on his own and get to accept the fact that his emotions matter. Okay, so a lot of men are indoctrinated to this normal sense of abuse, okay, emotional abuse that comes from women, that comes from people that they are around. Okay, it can come from women in different forms. Emotional abuse in men starts at a young age. It happens with their mother, it happens with their sisters. Okay, it happens with, even with young women that they're meeting, forcing them into transactional relationships early in life. So I want us to understand this. I want us to understand why men reach adulthood and a lot of them are coming to a point of no resolve. A lot of men are coming to a point where they are quitting in life. And some of them are even unaliving themselves. The suicidal rate for men is at an all-time high. It's always been higher than any other gender. I want us to understand that. Okay. So what is abuse for young men? What does it look like? What is emotional abuse for young men? Okay. Because if we're gonna have the conversation, we must also teach people how to recognize it. Okay. First, we gotta first off bring up the fact that men express their emotions differently. A lot of times they're gonna feel ways before they say how they feel. This carries them into the adulthood. Oftentimes in relationships, you may have noticed, if you're a woman, you may have noticed a man is behaving a certain type of way, but he isn't expressing, okay, exactly the way he's behaving. He isn't expressing it. Okay. Why? Because he is he is exemplifying his emotions first. Men show their emotions first, subtly. Okay. It isn't drastic, it isn't dramatic, okay, but he shows his emotions subtly. He'll give you signs, hints, and clues, okay, to be able to lead you, okay, to possibly asking the right questions or or having the right conversations, because men want people to offer themselves to them in a sense that they want people to present themselves as able to be spoken to, right? Meaning men not going to have the conversation if they don't feel like you're human enough to be able to understand the conversation as far as emotional aptitude, as far as when it pertains to their emotions. Okay? So at a very young age, men are going to keep things to themselves. We must understand that. If you have a little boy, you must know that your little boy is keeping things to himself. He is keeping a lot of what he is experiencing in life to himself. And it is because he do not trust you. He do not trust sharing his emotions with you. And I know a lot of people going to say that I'm a good mother, I'm a good parent, okay? I make it a safe place, but it isn't just about how you treat the little boy. That isn't how he learned. He learned from how you treat other men. He learned looking out into the world and seeing the way men are treated in the world. He sees as a male species, and he's also being indoctrinated to being this form of toughness that doesn't have any feelings. This form of toughness, okay, that doesn't deserve or is worthy of the same love, okay, as possibly as a female. Okay, so they're beginning to keep things to themselves. Okay, and this is the training. This is the training of of making a little boy numb, making a man numb, because that boy grows into a man and he starts exhibiting the same behaviors. Okay, men also express themselves differently in the same way, meaning a man will make you feel a certain type of way without saying anything, because he's not only sensitive, he's giving off a lot of sensory information. A lot of information he's giving off is through his body, through his senses, through this body language. Okay? Because all of this is subtle invitations to have the conversation. But he first want to understand, he first want to know that you care. He want to know that you're human enough to care. Men don't first assume everyone is human. People have to prove to men that they are human first. And when I say people, I mean women. Women have to prove to men that they are human first. See, I'm having a conversation for the men that can't speak for themselves. Okay? So if you ever wonder why you've dated a man, if you ever wonder why you've been around men and they're not expressing themselves to you, I'm telling you, they do not trust you. They do not trust the fact that you are human. Okay? Yes, we know you have two eyes, okay, two nostrils, a mouth, arms, legs. Okay? We understand you may look like a human, but a man want to know if you are human in the inside. Is he human to you? Is he human to you? Human enough for you to recognize the pain that he's going through without expressing himself verbally. Okay? See, men don't express themselves verbally. Okay? Women express themselves verbally. Okay? But men don't express themselves verbally. We have to accept that we are two different creatures. We are two different genders. Okay? And for far too long, men have been forced to trying to be forced rather to express themselves like women, but it's not a part of their biological makeup. It is not easy for women, it is not easy for men to express themselves the same way women express themselves. Okay? Why? Because we are sensitive beings. Men are sensitive. Men are sensitive. So they expressing themselves through their sensitivity and through their senses. Okay? So a lot of their emotional upheavals they are going through, if it is with another person, a person that is close to them, they will be expressing this subtly through their senses first. They may even do this for a week or two or possibly even 3 weeks. And when it comes to the point that they have to speak about it, more problems have arose. When it comes to the point that a man has to speak about these emotions and no one has offered or accepted the invitation to begin the conversation, and that's showing him that he's human enough to matter, he is seen, okay? More problems have already arose if the man got to speak on his problems, okay? And a lot of times they come out drastically. You may hear a man yelling. You may hear a man bringing up things that you didn't even know. You may hear the piles, okay, of stress that have been layered up. He may bring up things that have happened earlier the year because he's been accepting these things, but he's slowly been watching your response, okay? The woman's response, not only his mate, his mothers, his sisters, it doesn't matter who the women is. He's been watching the response, okay? And seeing, is they gonna keep allowing me to feel this way, to not be human, okay? Or are they going to accept the invitation to ask me what is going on? Okay, with an honest and authentic heart. Men know when you're being honest and authentic with them. We are sensitive. We can sense honesty. It is our nature to be sensitive because when we lived in the wilderness, we had to use our senses as a part of survival. So we biologically evolved, okay, to being more sensitive. There were no cell phones. There was no Wi-Fi. We couldn't dial 911 for help. People couldn't just call us and say there's trouble in the house, come back. We have to be able to be away from the house and be able to sense like, oh, I feel there's something going on. Okay? That feeling, when you feel there's something going on as a man, that is your senses. That is your senses. Okay? Doing exactly what they was made to do. So, moving forward, as we evolving from boys into men, so is our senses evolving. For what does that mean? We're becoming more sensitive. Why? Because a man must be the ultimate sensitivity. Not like a boy. A boy is going to question the things he feels. A boy is going to say, what is that I feel? What is that I feel? And he's not always going to say, okay, that's what I feel, and be sure of it. Because evidence in life is going to happen through experience. And as he grows into a young man, he's going to experience the evidence. Okay? He's going to feel when he's going to go date, for example. Okay? He's going to feel that she either wants him to get closer or not want him to get closer. Okay? He's going to see somebody he like in public and he's going to feel them first. Men feel everything first. I want y'all to understand sensitivity. It's not that we're emotional, we're sensitive. That's a difference. He's gonna feel her first. That's how mating even happens. He feel her. Okay. She feels good. She feels like home. She feels comfortable. She feels like she could be my mate. She feels a lot like me. I recognize a little bit of me in her. Hey, how you doing? He already know how you doing. When a man asks how you doing, he already knows how you're doing. He didn't felt all of you. He read all of you. That is his skill. He's getting better with that. And when you tell him what how you doing, it's only edifying with the information he already felt. So that's giving him proof. That's giving him proof that he can lean on his senses for that information. As he becoming man, he's becoming more sensitive. He has to be the man that be able to sense danger miles away. He's miles away from home. He can sense danger. He's miles away from home. He can hear the voices of his youth, of his offspring, asking for their father. He can hear the voices of his wife asking for her husband. He can hear his mother and father asking for their son without having to call them. Okay, so I want us to understand the sensitive nature of men. And when they are young, when they are around um, emotionally untrained people and emotionally insensitive people, okay, they are being trained to suppress their emotions and also suppress their natural sense to be sensitive. They're they're being trained to suppress these things, and that is abuse. That is abuse. It is abuse to train a man, to indoctrinate a man, okay, to suppress his emotions and sensitivity. Men don't know that this is abuse. I'm telling you that this is abuse. And if you have a man, if you have an offspring, if you have a father, brother, or uncle, I want you to know that they've also been abused. Some men have just accepted the abuse from the world, preparing them for the abuse of manhood. When they'll meet women who will make life transactional, when they will meet women that they will marry and will always keep the microphone on their emotions like their mother did, convincing them that their emotions don't matter. You are less human than I. This is why men, okay, committing suicide at an all-time rate. This is why men are depressed. This is why men are lonely. And you won't know that a man is depressed or lonely. You will not know that because he's been trained to put on an armor, an armor that keeps him going to work to fit the status quo. He has an armor on, an armor that keeps him moving, okay? Because momentum is the only thing that keeps him going. Inertia has kept him going, okay? Meaning movement has kept him able to feed himself. Movement have kept him able to pay his own bills, but it does not mean he is happy. It does not mean he is satisfied and satiated in life. It does not mean he feel human. Okay, so he been being groomed to be abused. Men are being groomed to be abused at very young age. The abuse starts when they are little boys. When they are little boys and they are being told to stop crying. When they are little boys and they are being punished for expressing themselves. Okay? Because this expression may look feminine to the people that he's expressing themselves to, but it's only human. It's only human. Because they cry, okay? Because they may feel flustered with their emotions, because they may feel overwhelmed, because they feel scared. Men are scared, okay? I'm speaking for the men who can't speak for themselves, like those little boys. Men are scared. Okay, they scared because not only do they begin to understand they're going into a world that is against them, but they begin to start looking, well, who is with me? Who is with me? Who will I be human to? Who is going to help me and protect me? Who is going to provide a safe haven for me? That's why it's hard for a lot of men to detach from their mothers, because although their mothers, okay, abuse them, sometimes they may provide the safe haven, though. Okay, listen, your emotions don't matter, but you can at least come here and plant yourself so you can deal with yourself. Okay? Your emotions don't matter, not to the same extent that minds matter. This is how the mothers treat their sons. Your emotions don't matter, not to the same extent as minds matter, but you at least are safe enough, okay, to feel any way you want to feel. But I'm still not going to give you the microphone in full. I'm still not going to have that full conversation I will have to you, okay, and nurse you, okay, and give you comfort and contentment as I would if you was a woman. A lot of men who've even began to subscribe to the gay lifestyle, to the same sex gender. This was a cry for humanity. This was a cry to being treated human. Some men thought that the only way they was going to be treated humanly is if they dressed like a woman, is if they behaved like a woman. I want us to understand this. I want us to understand what's really going on so we can truly grasp the concept of what is happening to our men and the fact that the world has left men alone to cater to themselves. Okay? And they're doing a good job. But the first teaching a man learns is, either they're not human or I'm not human. That's the first thing men start teaching themselves. They must not be human or I'm not human. And after they get through this type of phase in their life, they begin to say, you know what? I am human. I am matter. I do matter. My emotions do matter. The way I feel matter. My senses matter. The information I'm receiving from life around me, it matters. And I'm right. Men have to know that they are right. Okay, they aren't just this sensitive and receiving all this information to be wrong. They're right. They're right most of the time. And the only time they're not right, okay, is when they fall victim to their emotions. Okay, and they haven't learned how to express them. Okay, um and it's full fruition. Okay, but that doesn't mean that what led them to feel emotional, it doesn't mean that they aren't right about that. Are we saying that? Why am I saying that they're not right? Because men are called the sun. That means for the most part they are in great spirits. It is hard for a man to be sad for long. If you ever had a negative interaction with a man, if you ever been in an argument or a debate with a man, just give it time. You can give it moments, you can give it about a few days, but a man cannot be upset for long. It is not his natural nature to be upset. He will come down. Okay? He is not grudgeful. Okay? And any man that you may see behaving this ways, it's because he has a lot of feminine tendency. He was taught as a little boy, holding on to these feelings is my protection. He's been taught this by women. Okay? But if he allow himself to mature into a full man, okay, he will begin to see that his superpower is being able to let go. Men can let go. Just like they release from their loins, they can let go. Just like they release from their body, it is easier for man to let go. Just like a woman receives, it is harder for her to let go. It's why that grudgeful feeling, being able to hold grudges is indeed a feminine attribute. So we speaking on this because it is June. It is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. This is also the same month as Father's Day, and this is also the same month as the beginning of summer. It's important that we remind the men that they matter because we're going to need strong men to fight back for the earth. We're going to need strong men to join in, okay, on this spiritual war for the minds, bodies, and spirits of the other men, of the women, of the elderly, and of the offspring, of our little ones. They matter. We need men fighting for the earth. We need men, okay? We need men understanding that they are supported. People are standing by them. People are loving them, and they need them. Okay? So if you have a man in your family, let them know that they're needed. Let them know that they matter. Men need to know that they're needed. Okay? Purpose. People need to have meaningful lives. Okay? If a man doesn't feel needed, he also begins to deplete. All beings. A woman must feel needed and a man must feel needed. So since we live in a world where your governing parties is taking a lot of the responsibility of life from men, okay? They're feeding you, they're housing you, they're clothing you. And I want you to understand, men wanted to do these things. They wanted to do these things, okay? So I don't want us to begin the conversation that some people are having, well, saying that, well, if you wanted to do this, go do it. If you wanted to fight for us, go fight. As if their lives don't matter, as if it's just okay for them to just go throw their lives away, okay? Without knowing that they have the backing of their family. Men are going to fight harder when they understand they have the backing of their family, but they're not going to just war with no reward. Men aren't just going to war with no reward. He at least want to come home to the fact that he matters to his woman. He matters to his mother. He matters to his sisters. He matters to life. Even to his offspring. He matters to them. You know how easy it is for little ones to go without seeing their father versus without seeing their mother? What is this teaching? What is this teaching our offspring? You can go 3 days, a week, 2 weeks without seeing your father, but you wouldn't go those mamana days without talking or seeing your mother. What is that teaching men? That they don't even matter to their babies? To their babies? So if we want better men, we have to start being better people to men. I'm going to say it again. If we want better men, we have to start being better people to men. Okay? We have to start being better people to men. That's it. It's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, and look at the conditions of men, but then also look at the conditions of the world. See how they correspond. See how there is correlation. Okay? Look at the way people are in this moment. People are depressed. People are introverted. It is a lack of community. Don't you know this lack of community started in the hearts of men? Don't you know the problems that we are facing in everyday life began with the abuse of a man as a little boy? Don't you know the separation of sexes and the gender wars started when that little boy began to realize that his emotions don't matter? It started in the household. Gender wars started in the household. There was a gender war when the mom made it seem as if her emotions mattered more than everyone in the house, more than those little boys, more than dads, more than the daughters. That was the gender wars. And now we only grown up to being adults, and now we seeing the aftermath. We seeing this aftermath of the lack of love. Okay? So it's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. A lot of people can't speak for themselves. Okay? I'm going to provide a voice for them to speak. Okay? I'm going to provide a microphone to their emotions. Okay? Nevertheless, I want to thank you. Okay? I want to thank you. I want to thank you for taking time out to consider men. I want to thank you for considering the minds and emotions of men. Okay? I want to thank you for sharing this. I want to thank you for subscribing. I want to thank you for hearing me out. Okay? Because by doing so, you get to listen to men. Okay? Nevertheless, the more we do for ourselves, the more we do for our men. We don't have to wait on leadership. We don't have to wait on the leaders that are not here. We can actually heal the men that are here, because it's these strong men that are already here that have the power to save the world. They have the power to save their communities. They have the power, the same power in them that is building nations between their legs and their loins. Okay? They can also build nations mentally, spiritually, and physically. It is the nature of a man. And if you're a man, you need to understand that. You can raise people, you can lift people, you can erect and build. That's what you do. Okay? So let's start off by building ourselves up. Let's start off by loving ourselves. Let's start off by releasing suppressed emotions. Let's start off by practicing receiving, because no one with full hands can receive. Let's let some things go. Okay? Let's listen to the earth. Let's listen to life. Let's listen to the parts of life that is listen. Yes, people aren't listening. Okay. Yes, a lot of women ignored the way you feel in your lifetime, but I want you to understand you are the sun. You are the sun of the universe. Life has always been on your side. Life has always been listening to you. They need you. Okay. Without you, there will be no people. They need you. Okay? So hopefully you accept that from me. Hopefully you feel my love. You're a man. Hopefully you feel my love. If you have a man, if you have an offspring, if you have a baby, hopefully you understand that he's loved. This is how much men love each other. We're going to have those conversations for the men that can't speak for themselves. Okay? So I want to thank you. I want to thank you for listening. Go out there and tell a man that you love him. Yeah, go out there and tell a man that you love him, especially your family members. But if you see a man in passing, just tell him, love him. Okay? Love them. And yes, I see you, chat. When you build yourself, women follow. When you build yourself, women follow. So let's get to building ourselves. Okay? I appreciate y'all. Okay? I truly do. I appreciate y'all listening to me as a man. You didn't have to listen to something that concerned men. A lot of people not listening to those type of conversations. But this is why we are where we are. But there's a spiritual revolution that's happening. Okay? We have stronger women on the earth. We have stronger women on the earth, okay, that are fighting for the minds, bodies, and spirits of their men, okay? They much more rather live with their men and also go out with their men than not have their men. We have stronger women on the earth, okay? Let's honor them by being good men, by being the strongest we can be. And we also have stronger men on the earth. We have stronger men on the earth. Each generation is stronger than the last. We have stronger men on the earth. So with these stronger men and with these stronger women, okay, we also even have a stronger earth. The earth done been through a lot of turmoil. So the earth is even stronger, pushing these feelings, okay, pushing these conversations, because the earth has the inability to heal itself. So does you. As above, so below. You cut yourself, it heals itself without the band-aid or the neosporin. It's going to heal itself. So this is the way the universe is healing itself. Okay? I love you. Remember the slogan we have here. Remember the medicine. Okay? Rich minds create rich spirits that create rich bodies. And these rich bodies create the rich lives we've been asking for. Our slogan is let's get rich. Okay? Nevertheless, let's do that. See you soon.